Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Survivor Brothers, your ultimate unofficial podcast from your friends at TV Guide. I'm your Survivor obsessed host, Fox Van Allen, and joining me today is my similarly Survivor obsessed host, co-host, Lance Cartelli. Hello, Lance.
Hey, Fox, way to not screw that up and say Big Brother Brothers.
Yeah, welcome. I know, right? So this is the very first episode of a whole new podcast. Super excited. Can't believe they gave us a second one. We've been here all summer long with the Big Brother Brothers, breaking down that show on CBS. And enough of you liked it that you demanded, you all wrote in to TV Guide, all three of you, and demanded that we come back for Survivor this season. And here we are, back in the studio for exciting season 39 of Survivor. Lance, are you hyped?
Oh, I'm super hyped. I'm just glad that they let us back in here. You know, I thought after the Big Brother Brothers they'd be like, get out.
Yeah, they deactivated my key card, but I snuck right in.
It was pretty easy to get in here.
Lax security. So we've got a heck of a show here because we're going to talk about everything we know about season 39. We're going to break down the twists. We're going to talk about the returning players. We're going to talk about some of the new tribes and some of the players that we think may have a really good shot at winning the game, and a few who do not seem to have a very good shot at winning the game.
It's a strong cast, though. You know, there aren't too many people that I was like, oh, this person has no shot.
No,
you know?
it is. And I know there's a lot of hype around Survivor Season 40. And that's coming in the spring, probably around February 2020. It's going to be our all-winner season. And there are plenty of leaks about that, about who's on that show, that season. And it looks like a fantastic cast. But before we get to that, we got Survivor 39 to deal with.
Hopefully this is like a not like a middle sequel kind of thing where you're like, just give me the end.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel like a filler. We'll see.
It is season 39 is called Island of the Idols. So this is the third special, kind of fourth special, because we had Exile Island, then we had Redemption Island, right?
Yep.
And then we had the island from last season that shall not be named. And now we have an all new island. And I guess the idea is that Jeff Probst is really excited. Jeff Probst loves getting weird with Survivor, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I mean, you're 39 seasons deep. You got to get a little weird, right?
You do. You got to switch up a little bit because this is not their first time at the rodeo. So season 39, what Jeff's hoping is going to happen is that the castaways are going to arrive on the island. They're going to hear about this Island of the Idols, and they're going to assume it's all about hidden immunity idols, right? But survive. Surprise! It is
I like
not.
when you put words together like that.
Can you believe they gave us a show?
Another one. That's two.
It's crazy. Can't even talk, and they gave us a show. So they're hoping that the castaways are going to think it's about immunity idols, but it's actually about real life Survivor idols. It's about Sandra Diaz-Twine, the queen of Survivor.
The queen stays queen.
Our only two-time winner of Survivor. And Rob Mariano, Boston Rob, perhaps the most famous Survivor player of all time. He is a one-time winner, I believe, four-time player. But his most recent season, you win it once. What do you need another $1 million for, right?
Maybe he just wants those 15 minutes, I guess, you know?
Another 15?
Back on the screen.
He got a lot more than 15 minutes.
That's true.
He is.
Well, people stretch it as far as they can, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get some more minutes. So I guess the idea is that Jeff Probst was working on season 40, right? Going through this list of like all these fantastic Survivor players that they'd love to see again. And the question was, okay, who are the winners that would love to come back to Survivor, but not as a player? Who's done with being a player, but who would come back if the season was right and the idea was right? And it sounds like this entire season was constructed around Boston Rob, because I think Sandra will come back another 10 times,
yeah,
and probably win the game most of those times.
Yeah.
But Rob, I think, is done with the playing, so he wants to be a coach, right?
Yeah, but still, you have to have something, you know, a little wrong in your head if you're like, oh, I'd love to come back and not compete, and then also live on an island where I can't eat or shower or anything like that.
Yeah. So that's interesting, right? Because according to Jeff, and he's given a couple interviews here. If you wanna check out some of the great stuff that Josh Wigler's up to. I've been listening to some podcast. He's on. Rob has a podcast, a great show.
Friends of the pod.
Yeah. A Parade. We got the Hollywood Reporter. Everybody's covering Survivor, and why are we not covering Survivor?
People love Survivor,
right? You got to cover Survivor. It's a heck of a show. It's a big show, and we're great. We're really happy to be covering it.
Sure
are. So I guess the idea is that Rob and Sandra were offered the opportunity, like we'll build you a shelter and we'll get you set up here. And Rob's like, no, I don't want the shelter. I want to build it myself. So Rob's out there. I guess Rob and Sandra arrived to the island about 3 days or so ahead of all the other contestants. And got a head start. And Rob is, according to Jeff, working on building the largest Survivor shelter that has ever been seen.
Wow! Called the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, a Survivor skyscraper. So we're very interested to see what he did. If you remember his past seasons, that was one of his big things. You know, he's a construction worker. He's very handy around camp. He's an expert at that kind of thing. I'm
interested to see what he does. You know, what kind of amenities. It's more like a glamping kind of thing. Maybe he has built like a bathroom and like a makeshift shower in there. Who knows?
As close as it gets to Survivor glamping, I guess. And they, Rob and Sandra, are going to be living on this island for 39 days. And every episode, it sounds like on episode 1, when the first tribe to lose a challenge is going to have to choose one person at random. A drawing out of a bag or whatever. And that person is going to be sent to this title, Island of the Idols, right?
Yep.
And the first thing that they are going to see when they arrive to this Island of the Idols is a 25-foot tall, 20-foot wide statue of Sandra and Boston Rob made out of like wood and sheet metal. Can we talk about these gigantic wooden heads?
I think it's amazing.
It is all I can think about in this season.
I'm a little jealous that we don't have our own heads here for this podcast.
We need to become Survivor legends first.
Do you think that's why they showed up?
The first step.
Do you think that's why they showed up 3 days early so they could like whittle it out of the wood
just
and everything?
just to make sure. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, Sandra and Rob built it themselves.
Sandra just like chipping away at it and everything.
Yeah. But so it's Survivor Mount Rushmore, I guess is the idea, but only 2 of them, right? The next 2 come
2
later.
spots open.
Yeah. Who
us
else?
2.
Yeah, us 2. That's right. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Sandra, Lance, Rob, Fox. It works out
I can't think of anything
right?
better. I'm the Sandra of this, I would say.
So I do not know why they spent so much time building these these gigantic things, but they look fantastic. Like, you cannot miss these things. Like, these are, when we think about this season, like 10 years later, the first thing we are going to think about, I'm sure, are these ridiculous giant heads. And I don't know that it's ridiculous bad or ridiculous good, but it is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like when you get inducted into like the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you get this bust of you and everything, but not a 20 by 25 foot or whatever it is bust. Like, this is better than being in any kind of Hall of Fame.
Yes. This is the Survivor Hall of Fame. So my question is, when this season is over, what the hell do they do with these 25-foot tall, gigantic heads?
Well, maybe Boston will have fashioned like a plane or like a raft that he can just kind of float it out.
Maybe.
And make it. I hope they get to keep it, though.
Well, my thought is,
who's going to want something with somebody else's head, right?
Yeah. Well, I would say that there are plenty of people out there who would want to own these things.
I mean, you could see it on I could totally see it on eBay and just like a bidding war.
I think that's where it's going. I think it's going on eBay.
But then how do you ship it?
Freight, a big boat. You got to get a boat. Whatever the boat is that takes the contestants to that island will be the boat that brings the gigantic head of Boston Rob to your apartment.
That's amazing. Like a big DHL truck.
You just need like tall ceilings. That's what you need. Or a big backyard.
I could just see like the intro of Survivor with like Probst on the boat with the 2 just giant heads.
Where's the giant head of Probst? Is that coming later too?
It's clearly in his backyard somewhere, or like his underground lair or something.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, there's these 2 gigantic heads, and that's the first thing they see. But the second thing that they're going to see is that this twist has nothing to do with actual immunity idols, except for the fact that there will probably be immunity idols there anyway.
Of course.
That they're going to meet Rob and Sandra, and that Rob and Sandra are going to teach them about the game of Survivor. In the first round, in the first episode, Jeff has said that the Rob is going to teach the contestant or the castaway how to make fire, right? So that's pretty good. Rob's an expert on that.
Yeah.
And
Fire essential.
Well, yeah, it is, because if they are the people who lost the first immunity challenge, they're going to have to go back to camp with the flint, right? They're going to have to make fire when they get back, so that's going to come in handy. Plus, we've got this new Final Four fire making challenge twist that we got a couple seasons ago. It's super controversial. I know a lot of fans don't like it. I know Jeff Probst loves it, which is why we're going to see it till the end of time. Yeah. But it's going to come in handy there as well. So it's like a little bit of it's a team building, but also a little bit of a selfish thing, which is totally Survivor, right? And then after they're done learning how to make fire, there's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be like this big Survivor bet, where Rob's going to come in and say, all right, so you know how to make fire, Lance. I just taught you how to make fire. And here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like to challenge you at a fire making competition, right? I'll give you a little head start here. But if you beat me, I'm going to give you an idol, and it's good for one tribal council. What do you say? You want to take me on?
Hell yeah.
Well, see, that's the wrong answer. The right answer is no. Right answer is no. Because if you said yes, you just screwed yourself. Because if you lose this competition, you're going to lose your vote. Right? You're not going to be able to vote at the next tribal council.
But if I win, I'm good. And I'm going to win.
You're good.
So.
But here's the thing. Both Rob and Sandra have been authorized to negotiate with the players. So if you say no to that one tribal council worth of immunity, right? You don't take the first offer, because there are more offers coming down the line.
I gotta negotiate better. I gotta learn the art of the deal.
Maybe Boston Rob's gonna say, okay, well, what if it's good for 2 tribals? Now, are you interested? And maybe about 3. So, they're going to try to... So Rob and Sandra are going to be trying to make the best deal they can without giving away too much to the contestants. But the contestants are going to be trying to hopefully figure out that they can negotiate and get a better deal out of this.
It's interesting. It's definitely a twist on how they've kind of done it when people have been voted off.
Yeah.
And then they can choose, and keep going, but this adds more of a game to it and everything, which I find interesting.
Yeah, and what Jeff's really hoping is going to happen here is that people are going to take on these experts. They're going to get crushed by these experts, and then the experts are going to just be like, hey, you should have known not to do that, because, why are you taking on Boston Rob? I'm Boston Rob. What are you doing?
Well, it's
Who are you?
It's also
Steve?
smart that if they say they just smoke everybody,
right? It
makes Survivor 40 that much more interesting too. So it's kind of it's that prequel. It's that little give them whet the appetite a little.
That's right. That's right. You're gonna be out there for they're gonna be out there for 39 days. They're not gonna have food. They're gonna have food, but it's not gonna be a Survivor buffet.
Can that be part of the negotiation? Like, hey, give me food, give me all your clothes and stuff. Can they do that, or is it just?
I don't know that it goes. I don't know that it goes like that. But I think that if it's I don't know how to catch fish. I'm hungry. Maybe they'll teach you how to fish.
Okay.
I don't know how to get coconuts open. Maybe they'll teach you that. Have a coconut opening contest. So apparently before the season started, they all sat down, Jeff Probst and Sandra and Rob, and they all came up with a list of, okay, what are the most basic Survivor? What do you need to know about Survivor? You need to know how to make fire. You need to know how to lie. You need to know how to do this, do that, swim, do all these, catch fish, cut open a chicken or whatever, right? And they came up with this list, and I guess the Survivor producers then crafted these challenges that the contestants are going to go. So what do we think about this? What do you think about this twist, Lance? Is this because we have a gigantic list of Survivor twists, and there have been some fantastic twists, and there have been some not so fantastic twists. Where do you think this fits in?
I don't love it. I just think Survivor is such an awesome game, and it's survived this long. Do you really need all these twists and everything? You've got some fresh meat. You've got people already anticipating season 40, so they're going to watch season 39.
Right.
I just feel like the game outdoes everything. You don't need that twist. What do you think?
So I'm a little torn, right? Because it is a big twist. It's a huge thing. It's a very big twist. I mean, literally 25-foot tall twist. And that, I feel like that may suck a little bit of the air out of the Survivor experience, right? Because it's so focused on this twist. But on the other hand, I love Sandra.
Of course,
I cannot wait to see her back on my TV. I think Boston Rob's a fantastic player. Like, he is, like, watching him play the game, he's absolutely masterful at it. I'm not sure that I necessarily enjoyed watching Redemption Island,
No.
The season that he was on.
His one win.
Well, it's partially because of the way he plays the game. Like, he's so good and he's so dominant at the game socially that he just kind of convinces the other players not to play right, the ones that are with him, so that, like, he's the one who's playing Survivor and everyone else knows not to talk to anybody, and everybody needs a buddy so that they can't go off on their own and have these side conversations. But that's what I love about Survivor. I love the side conversations. I love the people who are trying to backstab, and I hate when there's someone there trying to shut that down, and that's what Boston Rob's all about. Great Survivor game player.
That's what I was going to say. It's a great strategy, but it's not an entertaining strategy at all.
Right. So I think Boston Rob's probably going to impart some of that knowledge to people, and hopefully these newbies at Survivor are going to be not as good at the game as Boston Rob, and then just mess it up and in a very entertaining way.
What I think is going to be fun is if they pick favorites and stuff. You know, like, oh, I actually like you, so I'm gonna give you like a really like a Godfather kind of deal and stuff. And if they pick people they don't really like, or like say we have a professional poker player in here, say he comes in a little cocky because he's a gambler and stuff. I could totally see one of them just being like, screw this, and I think that adds a little twist, a little fun to it.
Right. And, also adding to the fun of it is it's Survivor. So the contestants are naturally going to be wary of anything that comes along, right? And I really want to find out what happens once that first person who goes to the island of the idols comes back to their tribe and says, like, okay, so what happened there? And it's like, oh, you're not going to believe this. All right. So I step off the boat. The first thing I see, 25-foot tall statue of Boston Rob.
Liar.
Right? No, how the hell is anyone going to believe that? Like, that is so ridiculous that no one is going to believe it, but it's 100% true.
Well, the fun part is it's like, say you're the first person, do you tell them the truth knowing that, like, all right, they're not going to believe me, but then everyone else, other people are going to be there, so you can't really lie either.
The lie's going to come out. I think you got to tell the truth about that. I mean, you can lie a little bit about, like, the details there, but
you can lie about the deal you got and things like that.
Well, I think if the first one is about making fire, I think that's that's a real easy half truth, half lie thing to say. Like, oh, I went there, I met Boston Rob. You won't believe it. Like, Sandra was there too. I got to they taught me how to make fire, and like the idea is like every time like we go there, like they're gonna teach us something different. And I learned fire here. Let me make a fire for you. So I think I think it's not like they're not going to chop their head off just because they went to this island, but I think most people are going to assume that they're coming back from this island of the idol with an idol anyway. Yeah. Right.
And I also think people are going to be like, all right, Sandra and Rob are here. What's the twist? Or can they get back into the game? I think that's going to be in like the back of their head. Sure.
So let's talk about that for a moment, because that is kind of like what was at the back of my mind. The first thing that I heard when I knew that Sandra and Rob were coming back, because Big Brother, hey, we're the Big Brother brothers, right? In
subscribe.
Subscribe to both these podcasts. In season 14 of Big Brother, there was a very similar twist that happened, right? That show brought back 4 Big Brother legends, Dan Giesling, Mike Boogie, Janelle, Brittany.
Their own Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. The Mount Rushmore of Big Brother. And the idea was that these people weren't playing the game. They're coming back as coaches. They're trying to win a lesser prize by having one of the people that they're coaching win the game. And that sounds like a fantastic idea, except halfway through the season, there was a twist, and it's like, oh, surprise, maybe you're not coaches after all. Make a decision. If you want to become a player in the game, press the button. And if anybody presses the button, you're all in the game. And 3 out of the 4 pressed that button. Mike Boogie wasn't into it, but Mike Boogie was thrown into the game anyway.
Yep.
And there you have it. It was Dan who made it to the end of that season. Someone who wasn't playing the game on day 1 made it to the finale night. Had he played maybe a little bit of a different game, he might have won the $500,000.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's the question. Like, is there going to be a moment in Survivor where all of a sudden Boston Rob and Sandra's like, well, now that we're merged, would you like to play the game again?
I totally see that happening. Yeah. But the one interesting thing about that is, say that happens. Say they both get in. Yeah. Say Sandra wins, becomes a 3-time champion, and then has Survivor 40 where she could possibly be the 4-time champion.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's
that
juicy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. That is juicy, and that is reality TV right there. That is
That is Survivor.
That is Survivor. I feel like the twist that twist is more of a Big Brother twist than a Survivor twist, but I feel like they're probably going to play this one straight. I don't think that Boston Rob and Sandra are going to be getting back into the game at any point in this season. But you never know.
I think that makes sense just because they are coming back for the following season and stuff. Yeah. But I do like that it's kind of in the back of the head. Like, it could happen.
It could.
You know, it makes anything that's unpredictable just makes it more fun.
Yeah, it's for sure something that the contestants are going to have in the back of their minds too, where they're learning from these people, and they've sworn that we're here to help, but are they going to be here to help? Like, they're going to be stealing votes, and then they're going to jump back in the game, and
exactly.
Right.
Well, just being in the game, you always have to be a little. Have to think, like, is this person telling me the truth? Are they not? And you just got to be skeptical of all these people, especially the coaches. Like, who do you trust? And, maybe they are trying to help you, but maybe they're not.
Yeah, trust no one. It's Survivor.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So we've gone over the basics, I think, of the season. Like, that's what you need to know about the season. It's going to start on September 25th on CBS. You're going to get it at 8 o'clock. Watch that, then watch the Big Brother finale.
I hope we get a Vandy URL for this.
Yeah, we'll look into that. For now, cbs.com/Big Brother Brothers. Wait for Survivor? Why not?
All access is for everybody. So
all access is for everybody. Reality TV fans and sports fans alike this year.
That's right.
Company men. But
carry that water.
But I want to talk briefly, or maybe a little bit in depth, about the new contestants for this season, because Rob and Sandra are coming back, of course, but we also have 20 new contestants, and I love that there are new contestants. Like, returning seasons are great. Like, I love seeing my favorite survivors come back, but I also love meeting these new people.
Fresh meat.
Yeah, because a few of these people are going to be stars, right?
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
And they're going to be like future returnees.
Yep.
And I can't wait to figure out who's who.
Yep. Totally.
So let's get into this, and we're going to get into this right after this. Hey, look, Lance, we're back. Very exciting news. Okay, so let's talk about these. So we went on CBS.com, and the cast. Yes, fantastic website. And the cast for Survivor 39 is out, right? And we've gone through the cast list. So first of all, we got two tribes. We're starting with two tribes. We've got the Laro tribe, which is orange, and the purple tribe, which is what?
I would say Vokai.
Vokai? The Vokai tribe.
Hopefully I nailed that, but...
Yeah, well, we'll find out on September 25th.
That's
right. So we got orange and we got purple. I think I'm just going to call them orange and purple from now on.
A little easier to say.
A little easier.
One thing I thought was interesting with this cast before we really get into it is... This is a little different from Big Brother because you've got people aged 23 to 60 and more than half the cast is over 30. And I think that adds a little fun to this. It's not about... It's about different things for these people.
Yeah, these are real people. Like, not that the people on Big Brother
aren't real. If you're in your 20s, you're not real.
But there's definitely a different look to the casting of the two shows, right? On Big Brother, it's heavily skewed towards younger people who look very good in swimsuits. Not that the Survivor contestants don't look good in swimsuits. There are a few here who definitely do. Mm-hmm. But for Survivor, it's a little bit more serious, where we've got, unlike Big Brother, where we had one person who was over the age of 40. Here we've got a few people who are, we've got a 59-year-old chief lifeguard. We've got
not just a lifeguard, a chief lifeguard.
Chief lifeguard. We got a 60-year-old former hockey player, right?
That guy could beat us up still.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. And I think that's what, and I love that the people who are not who are the older, more experienced folks in the game are actually people who have a reason to be in the game, right? Like, it's not just like, oh, you're the old guy, you're out first, right? It's a former professional hockey player.
Yeah.
Like, you got...
That's probably in better shape than half the people that are going to be on that island.
Probably. All right. So I went through. So here's my first take on the new Survivor tribe. So I went through. We
have similar takes, but let's hear it.
We may. So I went through and I looked at every single player, and the first thing that I noticed is that, holy crap, is this orange team stacked?
Absolutely stacked. They are a unit.
They are stacked. So I wrote down on the orange team, without going into names, you've got an Olympic team captain and medalist. You've got a kickboxing pro poker player. You've got a former NHL player. You've got a gym owner. You've got an Air Force veteran. That alone is a really impressive lineup, right? Like, you know that there's going to be some really strong physical people and there, really strong mental people.
I was going to say, not just physically strong, which they have.
Yeah.
These people have, like, just from their bios and everything, you can tell they're intelligent people as well.
Yeah, and with experience working as parts of a team. I mean, Air Force, NHL, Olympic team captain.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, those are people who are right out of the box going to be really strong players, I think. And then on the purple side, I wrote down 59-year-old chief lifeguard.
That seems to be their most physically imposing person. And, a grad student, a nanny.
Yeah.
Personal injury lawyer, MBA student. Yeah, it's not, when you compare the two, it's not looking like it's very even.
Yeah. And that's not to say that everybody on the purple team is like out of shape or any.
Oh,
there's some college athletes in the mix, to be sure.
Yeah,
and
totally.
like, making a little bit of light of it, right?
But if you just put like one or two of the people from the Orange tribe and move them to the other tribe, it's a little more balanced, I feel like.
Yeah. If I am on the beach as part of that purple tribe, I'm going to look around. I'm going to say, oh, what lovely people we have. And then I'm going to cross my fingers that a tribe switch happens right away. Like, just need a couple of those, good strong players. That's all we need.
Tribe swap, or just be like, please let me survive to the merge.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about a few of the. We won't go into every single player. We'll talk more about the various players who are a little bit later in future podcasts. But I want to talk about a few that stood out to us as possible winners, possible losers, or just like people who are really interesting and we want to see play the game. So Lance, why don't you start? Tell me someone that you think has a really strong player. Who is a really strong candidate to maybe win this entire thing?
There are, tons of good candidates. The one I'm going to start off with is Missy Bird, an Air Force vet.
Oh, yes, our Air Force vet, yes.
There are a couple things that really stood out to me with her. Her pet peeves, annoying human beings.
Okay.
I hate them.
No one likes annoying people.
She describes herself as decently dope, which is a good way to, describe yourself. And then, why do you think you'll survive Survivor? Beyonce wrote a song about surviving, so I have to honor Queen Bee. That's pretty good.
That sounds like someone who's really entertaining.
Yeah.
We'll see how she plays Survivor.
I think.
I think just being like an Air Force vet, I think is a good start.
That's my thing. By the way, for my picks, I skewed towards the entertaining and the people that I like. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah. No, I think she's a really strong person there. One person that stood out to me that I'll call out now is Ronnie. Ronnie, who is our kickboxing pro poker player.
He doesn't do it at the same time, right?
Maybe that would be really impressive.
You're bluffing. Then he just roundhouse kicks him.
I guess kickboxing is the feet part, not the fist part.
It's a little both.
I'm not a sports guy. That's your job, right?
Sprats.
So he is for sure not the first pro poker player to be on Survivor. If you think back to Survivor China, I believe we had John Robert. We had Garrett from Cagayan, who was out. I think it's second. Traditionally, pro poker players have not performed the best on Survivor, despite what you might think of them having skills in bluffing and
so they're due.
Right.
No, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you're playing the probability like a gambler would.
I'm a gambling man, and I am gambling that there is something to this time. And even in Big Brother, we had like Vanessa Russo, a pro poker player. So this is not, this is kind of a reality TV character that we keep seeing coming back.
As long as he comes in grounded, and you're not just like, I'm a pro poker player, I'm gonna win, like I know everything kind of thing, then I think you're okay. What I do like is I like anybody that brings like a different type of approach, and gamblers bring an analytical approach that is going to be different than a lot of people. So I do admire that, and this guy is a good poker player. He holds the record for most consecutive World Series of Poker main event money finishes with a streak of 5 years in a row.
Yeah, he's an impressive guy, and I'm not saying for sure he's going to win the game, but I'm going to say he's going to for sure win the game. Why not?
Okay, how about that?
Let's just go out 100% done.
Pretty good.
Done.
Should I go with somebody I don't like? Or maybe I don't think has
one more good one?
Give me
one more good one.
All right,
give me one more good one, and then we'll talk more about the...
I'm going to go with This is another one that I just like her.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Chelsea Walker, also on the Orange Tribe. She's
Okay.
a digital content creator.
Yes.
Hey, I love people who create digital content.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things that stood out to me. She likes Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Mm-hmm.
great show.
It is.
And she likes sports,
Okay.
which are two of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And the person that inspires her the most is Larry David because he respects wood.
Okay. That's good.
It's perfect.
That's good. It is good because there's
Yeah.
going to be a 25 foot tall, pardon me, wooden statues in this game.
She's
so
going to respect it. I also think
it
that
makes sense.
beyond all that, she is somebody that I think from just looking at all these, she's the person that has been the most dedicated to being on the show. She's applied 5 years in a row.
Yes. Yeah.
And was like so close to getting on multiple times. So I think something like that, and she clearly has, what seems like a good, fun personality. I think that's something that could really help her.
Yeah.
She's obviously been studying and ready for this moment.
I wrote that down too. In fact, and she is not the only person in this cast who has almost been on Survivor before. Chelsea, Jamal, and Jack, they were all almost cast on previous seasons. And one thing to keep, like, that's not like a knock to them. That's like, I think in their credit that they are, these are people that Jeff has really wanted to see on the show, really want to see them play, but they just didn't quite fit in with the other people. Just because Survivor, when they're casting, like it's typically, it seems that what they like to do is they like to have people that have certain things in common, like on different tribes where there's like a lot of interconnections, and they don't want too many people who are similar, but maybe a couple people who are similar, and it's just the right person, the wrong season, right?
Yeah. It's like filling up like a basketball team, you need different people playing different positions and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see her and to see what Jeff really loves about her, because I'm really interested in that. So let's talk about someone now. Someone now that you think may be the first one out, so to speak.
So on the Purple Tribe, I think Nora, she got on my radar a little bit.
Okay.
She's an entrepreneur, so she's probably headstrong and probably likes to do things her own way and everything. She enjoys social media posting. Kind of scares me. Little red flag.
I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, at least she won't have to do that and stuff. And then she can't be friends with people who are selfish. And this is a game that people are going to be selfish. So this might be a thing where if she is headstrong and she does, butt heads with people, it might not be great.
She could be pretend friends with them, right?
Yeah, but we've seen other people that it's not so easy to pretend for that long.
Oh, well, I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years now. Lance.
That's pretty good. Oh, you've been an acquaintance for me, so I wouldn't even.
Oh, pardon me. Did I incorrectly use the friend word? Well, my mistake. I'll take that back.
No F words here. We're brothers.
Yeah, we are Big Brother brothers
and acquaintances
and Survivor brothers from different mothers, non-biological brother. Anyway,
I have been asked that actually if we're actual brothers. And
me
we're
too.
Not. We're not.
Thank goodness, right?
Only child.
Yep, same. Get it right the first time. Don't
now we know why
again,
there's something wrong with
right?
both of us. So.
Exactly. All right, so I've got my my pick for my pick for first one out. And it pains me to say this because it sounds like he's going to be a very interesting person on the TV, and I do hope that he lasts longer than this first one out prediction, right? But my call is Vince. Vince, and he's 27. He's an admissions counselor. And one thing that really stands out about him is that Jeff Probst said, "We've never had a survivor like him before, and we may never have a survivor like him in the future." And that to me is like, that's the first thing I think is like, like in terms of his ability to survive in the game.
That's the feared backhanded compliment.
Right.
That's not really a compliment.
Yeah, because I think that what you want to do in Survivor, at least in the early days, is kind of like blend in a little bit and not be this.
Don't get on anybody's radar.
Right. Not be this super unique person that no one's ever seen before on the show or in real life or whatever. And you don't want to stand out and like that kind of like be this sore thumb or whatever, like the guy just gets cut.
Just from reading his answer stuff, he does seem like he's very pure, like maybe he's a little too good for the game, and stuff.
He might be.
But I'm really hoping that he kind of proves everybody wrong and backstabs everybody and stuff.
Yeah. He has a dual personality or dual personas, I guess is how it was termed. And
anybody that I've met that said that, not good.
Well, there's the admissions counselor, right? And then there's, I guess, the kind of like the more like a homey kind of like more of a edgier
Do
Vince,
the dual personality? Do they have different names? Do you know?
I don't think so.
When
but
they have
we'll have
people
to,
have different names and
Yeah.
they name themselves differently, that's when I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I've seen this before on I feel like I've seen this before on Survivor, like the dual personality thing. It's not good.
No.
It's not good. You don't want to be the guy with two faces.
Yeah.
In a show that's all about trust, right? Because what Vince am I getting today?
Yeah.
Am I getting the one I can trust, or am I getting the one who's
am I getting Vince or am I getting Vance?
Exactly.
You don't know.
Which one?
Vance, awful name.
Yeah.
A couple things I did like about Vince. This has nothing to do with the game, but his hobbies include thrifting and hunting for unique cafes.
Okay.
And he's most proud of buying his mom a fridge. That's kind of coul.
All right. So he'd fit
or he
in.
doesn't have a lot of prideful moments in his life.
Yeah, so he'd fit in very well here in Los Angeles. I think
that's right.
That's thrift shopping and weird cafes.
Yeah, he did have one of the reasons I do like him. You could tell he's there for a purpose. In his bio, he says he wants to show minority young folk and people across the world that they matter, that their stories and narratives are important, and they should never doubt their existence, regardless of what others say. Mm-hmm. That's, of all the answers on here, that was one of the better answers.
That's great.
I saw,
I like that. I like that too. And hopefully he's going to get a chance to do that and not be the first person out. But he is on my radar.
Yeah.
I think the thing that he's got going for him is that he may have a good team behind him. Maybe he won't wind up going to tribal council in the first couple.
I could see that, but I also could see if they lose a random immunity challenge that let's get rid of him.
Right. He's I feel like he's the kind of person who just needs to survive a couple of votes, and once he survives a couple of votes, maybe he won't be that kind of weird person who's a little bit on the outside.
Yeah.
And it can do something in the game. But he's someone I have my eye on for sure.
Yeah.
Anyone else here that stands out to you, Lance?
So I want to give a little love to the Purple Tribe. We haven't said many good things about them. There are two guys I like on here. Jamal Shipman, admissions counselor.
Okay, again, another person who was considered on previous seasons.
Exactly. Yeah, you brought him up earlier. Mm-hmm. I like that his hobby is losing in fantasy football. My man, I do the same thing. I lose a lot.
That's your hobby too.
The one thing that did stick out to he might not look like it, but he's definitely athletic. He used to be a tri-sport athlete, but the one thing that stuck out was he hates bugs that leave behind itchy, painful bumps. That could be
This is not the right show for you, my
in
man.
Fiji.
That's not good. Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, I think they give you some little bit of bug repellent, and I don't think it does much.
Yep.
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. And then another guy I actually think this might be their strongest player on the tribe is Jack, a graduate student. Mm. His pet peeve, he hates when people are running in place at crosswalks.
Okay.
Which kind of weirds me out.
Yeah.
And says his mom is the definition of the goat. Greatest of all time, not a bad goat.
Okay, well, goat has a very specific definition in Survivor.
Exactly. That's why I had to clarify that. And then he's another guy that he may not look it, but he's athletic. He does CrossFit, and then he won a national championship in club soccer.
Okay, yeah, no, he is kind of the he's kind of like the guy who's got the surfer-ish look to him, right? Yeah, he for sure. I looked at him and the first thing okay, is he going to be the next Joey Amazing, right? Or is he going to be more like a Vince or someone who's a little bit more out there? Yeah, I'm very excited to see that. But yeah, let's see what you got, Jack. I'm looking. Hopefully your team doesn't get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, not looking good for their team. Yeah, but unless Jack is just like Superman, and just comes out, it's this is mine, and just takes it over, beats it.
Yep. Yeah. And anybody else? Anybody else you got?
Let's see here. I have one other person. Let me find them. I liked Elizabeth Beisel, the Olympic medalist for swimming. Yeah. Became an Olympian at age 15.
That is very impressive.
And, the swimming thing, that's going to obviously be in her favor.
Swimming. Yeah. That is the number one, that's the number one skill that I would want to have that I don't currently have if I were going on Survivor.
And that she has discipline because you have to have discipline to be able to be an Olympic athlete at 15 and stuff. It's just another, feather in the cap for that team. Mm-hmm. And on her pet peeves, nothing that really stuck out, but she did say, I hate when people have conversations while scrolling on their phones. Doesn't have to worry about that here. No. So
no,
maybe just nobody will annoy her.
Yeah. I really like her too. She stood out to me. I love that she's, a team captain. The only question I have is that she is so impressive that will that come down, to haunt her later down the line?
Yeah.
Do you really want to go up against an Olympic swimmer when you're down to final 5, final 6, right?
That'll be interesting to see if she says that, like, hey, I was an Olympian, or maybe she's talking about what she's doing now, even though she is technically retired from that.
Yeah, but even if she doesn't say it, she's still going to be really effing good at swimming.
That's true. You can't really hide that, you know?
People are going to see that, right?
Yeah.
She's like the female Aussie, just like moving through the water like a submarine.
Yeah.
Just zoom. So those are some. It's a good cast. It's a good cast. I'm very, very excited.
I just wish the tribes were. We've said this a little more balanced. That'd be nice and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a strong cast, and when there really isn't like one person that's sticking out, like kind of thing, then you know it's pretty good. And they have, like, these people have really impressive resumes.
Yeah. Survivor for sure cast people who are just fantastic in life and in general. Like I really can't wait to see what these people do. I'm super excited for it. And we'll get our first look on September 25th at 8 p.m. on CBS. We're gonna take a look.
Can't wait.
Who our big winner is, if not Rob or Sandra. Really, the winner is America, right?
Always.
Another great Survivor
and
season.
Sandra, just because Queen stays queen.
Yeah. So hopefully we're gonna have some fantastic gameplay, help wash out a little bit of the edge of extinction taste from our mouth. Not that was a bad season. It was just It was a weird one.
Not the ending you want to see sometimes.
It was a tough ending.
Not a good look.
When someone who you don't remember wins the game, that's a little weird. But that's Survivor. Survivor can be a little weird sometimes. Hopefully this twist does not go down the same direction. I think we're safe there.
We'll find out.
But we will find out
on
for sure.
Survivor Brothers
on September 25th, and right here on Survivor Brothers. So so I guess this is we're just about wrapping it up here. But let's just say first of all that we are still doing right up until the Survivor premiere, Big Brother Brothers.
Yeah, can't get rid of us.
Right here on TV Guide. So please go on your favorite podcasting app and follow us there and subscribe. And similarly, if you love Big Brother, you'll probably love Survivor. If you love Survivor, you love Big Brother. So I got into Big Brother because I love Survivor, and I think you got into Survivor because you love Big Brother, right?
Yeah, they were all. I forget what came first, but I loved them both, which is the thing. So I mean, I watched Survivor since season 1. I was a big Gervais fan, so
yeah. Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, I too. I think everybody in the world watched the first season of Survivor.
It was like it was such a huge deal, and
it was the deal.
Yeah,
it was the deal, and it is
people
still
eating rats and everything.
It's still a fantastic game.
Yeah.
It's still fantastic. Like the show I fell in love with in the year 2000 is still the show that I love today.
What I love about it now is it's such a high level because people have been doing it for so long. And there's such good strategy that it's really just top-notch strategy.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things to keep in mind with the season, that a lot of the people who are in this cast are Survivor super fans. This is not like a situation where there's like one or two people who really know Survivor and just like 18 people they found at a mall somewhere, right?
That watched like 3 episodes of the previous season.
Yeah, these are people who really love the game, and there are a few in the mix who are not Survivor experts, who are relatively new to the game. I think you need that. You need a few people in there who aren't sure but can learn along the way. And I think that these people are going to learn along the way because they've got Boston Rob and Sandra to teach them, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea.
I think, there's a point when being a super fan and like having all those kind of things inform your decision.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you play the game. So it is nice to have people that are kind of learning on the fly and don't have that same thinking.
True. So we'll see how it all turns out, and join us here every week. We're going to be here throughout the entire Survivor season. Hopefully they'll call us back here for season 40 as well.
Fingers
we'll cover
crossed.
that. But in the meantime, like and subscribe to us. If you want to follow us individually, I'm Fox Van Allen Fox Van Allen.
Almost got your name right.
Almost got my name right.
And I'm at Casually Ginger. Said that right.
Yeah, and the Twitters and the Instagrams and wherever you want to follow us. So do that, and we will see you back here next time. And I don't want to spoil it, but we are going to have a really amazing guest next time, and you're not going to want to miss it.
Just an amazing guest, a big fish.
Yep, it is a big fish. We got a big fish.
Yeah,
we got a big fish.
What a tease!
Yeah,
you have to subscribe now.
You got to subscribe now. You're not going to want to miss it. All right. So it's here from the Big Brother Brothers Studios, former Big Brother Brothers Studios, now the Survivor Brothers Studios.
It's a little both.
Foxy and Helen saying goodbye.
Bye.
It's good. It's perfect. That's perfect.